2 years since I bought the car, and still I don't have the dashcam installed. So today we are going to change that. I have a couple things prepared over here, and I'm going to guide you how to do it properly in Audi A3, like here, Audi S3, but I bet that this tutorial will be useful for any other Volkswagen or Audi vehicle. I have a dashcam, I have a memory card, I have a hardwiring kit, because I want to hide all the wires underneath the panel trims. I want to make a perfect, clean, seamless installation in the vehicle. I could just throw the camera on the windscreen and connect it to the 12-volt outlet and be done with it within 3 minutes, but that's not what I'm going to do. Okay, so I'm going to use the two of those trim removal tools. And if you ever worked on Volkswagen or Skoda or Audi or Seat vehicle, you know that you are going to need Torxes, multimeter, and I have a crimping tool and some electrical connectors over here, something to clean the glass, and water, because, well, it's pretty hot today and I want to stay hydrated. So the dashcam is going to be somewhere over here, here or here, I'm not sure yet, but either way the wiring will go through here, and over here at the end of the A pillar. It will split into two sections. One section will go down to the cabin fuse box, and this is where the power will come from, and one will go all the way to the back of the vehicle, because this is a two-channel setup. Yeah, we are going to have a front camera that will cover us over here, and we have a rear camera that will cover us on the back. And since this vehicle is a sedan, Audi calls them limousine, but this is S3, so that's hardly a limousine. Yeah, since this is a sedan, the wiring to the back, it's not going to be that difficult. But if you have a Golf 7 in hatchback, or you have something in estate, well, in that case your rear window will open with the boot, so you will have a little bit extra work with wiring that through the hinge with the factory wiring that goes to the lights and so on. Pretty much any other vehicle right now is equipped with a lot of airbags, not only over here but also on the over here. There's air curtain over here, there's something in the side of the seat. We don't want to obstruct those with wiring, so this is the most important part over here. When we remove the A-pillar cover, we want to guide the wiring behind the airbag, behind the air curtain. I have my prying tools. I bet that you can do this with your hands alone, but, well, I have a little bit of fragile hands and I don't want to mess up the interior or my hands, so I'm going to use two of those. And maybe let's start with this cover. I believe that you should pry it from both sides at the same time. Let's try it, if that's true. And that's done. Now this part over here, there's a trim that goes all the way around the the roof light, and if you pry it like so, work your way around, you should be able to remove it just like so. And this is just the cover. If you press the button over here, you can still see that there's light over here. And if we look even closer, there's a clip over here. So maybe I should just yank it down. Yep, that's here, that's here, that's here, and the clip is here. Let's remove this small cover. Can you see it? It should be as simple as prying it with your fingers. Always try to pry from the side that you don't see usually, because if you leave a mark over here by accident, you will see it all the time. So let's try to do it from the side that you cannot see normally. And inside we will have Yep, that's true. We have a Torx screw, so that's going to be T20 or T25? T25 single screw. Don't drop it. Don't drop it. I don't want to drop it. I'm going to use this just to be safe. Okay, here it is. I didn't lose it. Okay, so right now we can try to pop this out like so. Bang. And that should be good enough. Let me show you. We have a little bit of room over here. We can see the air curtain, and we will be able to guide the wiring behind it. And for this panel we actually want to work from the back seat, so let's move this seat all the way to the front, maybe even a little bit upwards, so the back of the seat is not in our way as much as it would be in the normal position. And right now, oh, okay, now you can call it a limo. What the hell is... Oh, yep. It didn't broke. That's how it's supposed to be. Same from the other side. Oh, okay. You just need to grab it, like not only on the bottom inch, but like put your two hands like from the half mark over here all the way to the bottom and pull it from both sides. Okay, so the cable will go over here, and behind this panel somewhere over here, and the camera is going to be installed here on the third brake light, or over here, not sure yet, but either way the wiring needs to come from here. Can we pry this without tools? Yep. Okay, there's no Torx screw over here. I will try to use the hook, because by the looks of it I'm able to put it over here and just yank it down. Okay, that's good. I don't need to remove it actually. This is just fine. This will be more than enough to guide the wiring. Maybe I can even like set it upwards so it doesn't pop back to the correct place. Cabin fuse box is over here. This panel. 1, 2, 3 clips start from here. Let's try it out. So here, and here, 3 clips. There's a little gap that you can use. Can you see it actually? Too bright. There's a little gap that you can use to start, but I strongly recommend going to the corner over here and starting from this clip instead of the bottom ones, because it's just that easier. And this thing, I believe it should just come off like so. Cool thing that those wires already have fuses on them. Yeah, so those black things over here are actually little cases for fuses, so you don't need to think about those in this case. Just add the connectors at the end and stick it in the fuse box. And if you use flat connectors like those should be perfectly good to go into the fuse box, just like a normal fuse would do, because this shape, this size should match the fuse size. And I'm using this, but I believe as long as you have pliers and enough strength in your hand, you can do just as good of a job as me with this tool. Right, so we have three wires. The black one is marked as ground, so that's the negative connection, and we have two positive connections. This is constant 12 volts, so permanent 12 volts, power goes over here, and this is accessory, so ignition on signal. This is just a trigger for the system. Couple times I make the mistake of starting on this side, on the fuse box sides, like connecting things just to check if it works, and then, well, once it's here I just going to guide it. Well, if you have something this big on the other end, it's going to be a really hard time guiding it all the way through the vehicle. You want to lift this end, start with the narrow end, and guide it all the way around to the fuse box instead. One more thing. We should be able to pop this down, and once it's down, okay, it will go. My God, I'm just losing stuff all the way around. Once it's off, you can easily move the headliner. Where is that little piece? Where is it? Oh, here it is, here it is. Okay, that was rather easy. So the power unit and remote access unit apparently is over here. The wiring goes through here, goes behind the air curtain. You can see it over here. It's the black wire. It's the black wire that will be hidden under the A-pillar cover. Goes all the way through, sticks out over here. Some people just tuck in the cable behind this seal, but well, there's a risk that you will have a lot of wind noises because you'll alter the shape between the seal. Yeah, you are adding something and the shape is different, and this can make the door not to close as good as it should, and at high speeds you will hear some wind noise. I have my multimeter and we want to set it to continuity check, and in this mode, when you have your two probes and you touch them together, you will hear this sound. This is used to check the continuity. So we are going to touch one of the probes to the ground point, and we are going to look for another point by touching this probe to different stuff. And when we hear this beep, we know that there's ground over there. So I'm going to use one of the probes over here on the 12 volt outlet, like so, and I'm going to touch this probe to different things looking for ground, like this USB port, but there's nothing over here, and we are going to find proper ground somewhere near the fuse box. One probe goes to the ground, and we are looking with the other one for a nice ground connection. So nothing over here. This is painted. Nope. Nope. Oh, we have something over here, this big screw, but this looks like a structural thing. So let's check this. Yep. Okay, I've done my research and let me show you something. So this fuse is a little bit out of line. Yeah, those are in line, and this one is like half of the row lower than the rest. It's because this line over here supplies ignition hot power, and this line over here supplies constant power. So this goes from the battery through the fuse to the circuit, and this goes through the ignition hot relay, through the fuse to the circuit. And this fuse is placed like so because this is for the 12 volt ignition, 12 volt power outlet. Yeah, for your cigarette lighter or whatever you want to call this thing over here. And you can actually remove it and place it in line with those, and this will make your 12 volt outlet to stay always on. This means that those two vacant places are always powered by 12 volts, and those two are always ignition hot, so we can use this one for the red wire and this one for the yellow wire. And this is how it looks once it's done. We have the red wire on the upper terminal, yellow wire on the lower one. We have the ground connection over here. We have a lot of wire over here, but nicely they put a little tags over here. So this one is tagged front. It's a 90-degree elbow connector, so this goes to the front, and this straight connector goes to the rear. It's tagged rear. So since it's going to be easier to use this side to guide it through the vehicle, the rear one, we are going to start in the front and go all the way back to the rear window. Yep. Oh, here's where I'm going to stop, because I have like 10 feet of cable left. There's enough room to store all the excess cable over here, and we are going to use like half a meter, so like 2 feet of cable over, just to connect to the rear camera. Okay, so I've decided I'm going to install it right in the middle, just behind the rear view mirror. I want to make this tutorial as good as possible, and it's taking time, and I bet that if not the camera that I need to take care of all the time, I would do this in like 45 minutes tops without any rush. Yep. Come on. Okay, that's not straight. I need to straighten it up. Maybe it is straight. I'm not sure if it's straight or not, but the whole interior of the vehicle is a little bit at angle towards the driver. So this might give a slight optical illusion, but I believe it's straight. Okay. Check out this clean installation. I even put a little hole over here in this cover. Well, that's up to you if you want to do something this permanent, but I've put a little hole over here just to have those cables guided under the plastic trim, under those covers as soon as possible. And thanks to that, other than the cameras themselves, you can see both cameras, everything else is hidden away, everything is under the trim, everything works, everything is assembled and works correctly, seamless installation. And I went with the 70 my dashcam. This model is called A900, and as I said, this is a dual setup. Both cameras are 4K resolution with wide angles, and here are some demo scenarios so you can see how the footage looks on them. So this is bright sunlight, this is daytime with mixed conditions, pitch black night, city driving at night, and high-speed highway travel at night. When it comes to checking the number plates of vehicles that you are passing, well, I believe the front camera works actually a little bit better than the rear one. I'm not sure if the rear sensor is different or is it due the window tint that I have over here. You can see that it's actually much brighter than by looking by this window. But still, the front camera, well, it's working pretty well. If we take a closer look at the main unit, we have 4 buttons over here. This is not a touch screen, which I actually love because physical buttons are the way to go. We have built-in GPS for your position and speed. We have shock sensor that will automatically detect accidents and other things that are worth saving. We have built-in Wi-Fi and Bluetooth to access the camera settings and storage from your application. And if you have this hardwiring kit with 4G capabilities, you will actually have remote access to the camera. And why is that important? I'm in the middle of a cornfield. I have the application with me, and over here I can see that the 4G connection in the vehicle is okay. I can press the remote surveillance button, and well, in just a couple seconds we should have connection with the vehicle and live view from both of the cameras. Well, here it is. It looks like it's working. If you want to set something up in the camera, you can of course do it from this large screen with those 4 buttons, but you can also use the application that you can get from Apple App Store or Google Play Store. So that's up to you, but with the application you have also the additional option to upgrade the firmware over here, over the air. So that's a plus. And if you want to get a camera like this one, you can get it from AliExpress. I believe they have a mega sale right now, and there's a bunch of discount codes over here for you, as well as in the description below this video. Okay, I hope that I covered it all. Let me know in the comments. Oh, it's windy. Let me know in the comments below if there's anything missing. I'll be more than happy to add any useful information from you. Thank you for watching again. See you soon.